The Smile Room. The Smile Room is a disturbing horror entity created by Canadian artist Trevor Henderson and is known for its grotesque and deeply unsettling design. It appears as an unnatural room or doorway filled with enormous, crooked teeth embedded into wet, flesh-like gums, making the entire structure resemble a giant frozen smile. At first glance, it can look like an ordinary, unused room hidden inside abandoned buildings, old amusement parks, or forgotten structures, which makes it especially dangerous. The Smile Room is believed to manifest without warning, replacing normal doors or walls in places where people are unlikely to notice it immediately. Once someone steps inside the Smile Room, the door behind them slowly vanishes without making any sound, sealing them inside completely. The walls then begin to move and stretch in unnatural ways, revealing that the room itself is a massive smiling mouth hidden within the structure. Victims are dragged into the walls and slowly dissolved, leaving no physical trace behind. Legends say the Smile Room can relocate itself after feeding, appearing in different buildings without warning. Some people claim they still hear muffled screams or quiet, distorted laughter coming from sealed rooms or blank walls that no longer exist. One of the most commonly shared accounts connected to the Smile Room dates back to 2006, when a group of teenagers reportedly explored an abandoned amusement complex and discovered a strange room that did not match the building's layout. Shortly after entering, two of them vanished without any trace, and the only evidence left behind was a phone containing a single image of a massive tooth-filled doorway labeled the Smile Room. When authorities later searched the location, the room had completely disappeared, replaced by a solid wall as if it had never existed. The Man with the Upside-Down Face. The Man with the Upside-Down Face is a chilling horror creature created by Canadian artist Trevor Henderson. As his name suggests, he looks like a human male, but his face is completely inverted. Eyes, nose, and mouth all upside down, and he grins eerily whenever captured in photographs. He usually wears a dark suit and shirt, and although he may appear normal at first glance, his upside-down face and unnerving stare make him deeply unsettling. His body is thin and elongated, with long, bony limbs, giving him a nightmarish, unnatural silhouette. Unlike typical monsters, the man with the upside-down face is almost never seen directly in real life. He is most often spotted in old photographs taken around tragic events such as car crashes, fires, and other disasters. In several images shared by Henderson, he can be seen in the background of scenes from the 1910s through the 1960s, always wearing that same eerie grin. Sometimes he appears inside a damaged vehicle or lurking behind crowds gathered after accidents, quietly observing. He seems drawn to places of pain, grief, and suffering, lingering as if feeding off the negative emotions of those moments. Legends describe him as a malevolent presence tied to misery and tragedy. Big Charlie. Big Charlie is described as a mammal-like beast resembling mutated cattle that escaped from a meat processing plant, possibly the result of a bizarre experiment. Unlike many of Henderson's monsters, Big Charlie is not humanoid. He has a thin, malnourished body with visible ribs, long, spindly limbs, a thick, dark mane, and a strange beak-like mouth. His cloudy, hazy eyes make him seem blind or only partially aware of his surroundings. Pieces of flesh that fall from his body, called meat chunks, can grow into small creatures called Lil Nuggets, which may evolve into stronger beings like the Lamb or Void Nuggets, forming an eerie family tree of monsters. Despite his terrifying appearance, Big Charlie is generally neutral rather than hostile, wandering abandoned highways and corridors, occasionally leaving behind new life while his weary, fog-eyed gaze watches distant horizons. Sea Eater. Sea Eater is a colossal oceanic horror, described as one of the largest aquatic monsters ever imagined. It dwells in the deepest parts of the ocean and towers far above the waves, with its body estimated at 5 kilometers tall, 4.5 kilometers wide, and up to 25 kilometers long, making ships appear tiny beside it. Its appearance is nightmarish, a massive tube-like body covered in thick cyan-colored hide, with 2 enormous arms stretching for kilometers, ending in finger-like appendages. Its gargantuan mouth is perpetually open, capable of swallowing anything in its path, from giant sea creatures to entire vessels. The sea eater's skin combines water-like fluidity with tough scales, while its arms seem to be made of fused, dead marine organisms, giving it an unnatural and terrifying look. This leviathan rarely rises above the deep ocean, but when it does, its movements create enormous waves and tidal disturbances. Legends describe it as a force of pure destruction, consuming everything in its path and leaving behind chaos in the vast, unknowable depths of the sea. Country Road Creature. The Country Road Creature is a tall, thin monster said to haunt empty rural roads. It often stands around 20 feet tall with unnaturally long arms and legs. Its face resembles an old man, sometimes smiling and sometimes completely blank. The creature is believed to be highly intelligent and capable of mimicking humans. Some stories claim it disguises itself as a lost traveler to trick drivers into stopping. Vehicles are often found abandoned on isolated roads with no signs of struggle. Witnesses report seeing it walking on all fours at high speed. It is said to hunt silently and efficiently. Rural disappearances are commonly linked to it. Few who encounter it are ever seen again. Cartoon cat. Cartoon cat has a disturbing appearance that feels both familiar and deeply wrong. It looks like a tall, pitch-black feline pulled straight from an old 1930s cartoon, with a rubber-like body that bends and twists unnaturally. Its large white eyes stare endlessly, and its wide mouth is filled with crooked, blood-stained teeth set in bright red gums. It often wears oversized white cartoon gloves and sometimes boot-like feet, but its form is never consistent. Its limbs can stretch, shrink, or bend in impossible ways, as if it isn't bound by normal physical rules. Cartoon cat can change its size at will, warp its body, move silently, and even seem to bend reality itself. Many stories describe it stalking victims slowly, playing with them before attacking, then vanishing without a trace. Despite its playful cartoon appearance, it is considered one of the most dangerous and malevolent entities in horror lore. Other creatures are said to avoid its territory, as its presence turns something once cheerful into pure nightmare fuel, haunting abandoned places in the minds of those who encounter it. Siren Head. Siren Head is a terrifying creature created by Trevor Henderson. It stands around 12 meters tall with a thin skeletal body covered in dry, rust-colored skin-like flesh, making it look like a dead tree or rusted pole. Instead of a head, it has two large emergency sirens that can produce loud alarms, radio static, and even perfectly mimic human voices. Siren Head is usually linked to forests, farmlands, abandoned towns, and lonely rural roads. It often stands completely still for long periods, blending in like a tree or streetlight. When people hear sirens or voices calling for help and follow the sound, the noise suddenly stops, and those who get too close are never seen again. One chilling story dates back to 1966 in rural Arizona, where a family traveling near a forest reported hearing emergency sirens with no visible source. Later, the sounds turned into human voices calling from the woods. By morning, one family member had vanished, and only strange, oversized footprints were found near the trees. Since then, many disappearances near forests and remote highways have been linked to Siren Head, with witnesses reporting sirens echoing long after the creature was gone. Breaking news. Breaking news is a gigantic humanoid figure, covered in a pitch-black surface that absorbs almost all light. Its appearance resembles a moving shadow with long arms and a weak neck. The creature emits a deafening screech similar to emergency broadcast systems. Wherever it appears, large-scale destruction follows. Buildings collapse as if they were never solid. Cities affected by it are often abandoned permanently. Survivors report hearing broadcast-like noises before everything went silent. The creature walks through structures without resistance. Its true purpose remains unknown. Breaking news is considered the embodiment of catastrophe itself. This video focuses only on authentic information, explained in simple and easy-to-understand words. If this video entertained you or stayed with you, support the channel by liking and subscribing, and comment what video you want to see next.